Hello, everybody, and today I'm just going to be doing a recording of something that I've wanted to talk about for a long while and never have gotten around to it. I'm going to talk about a show lost in the annals of time from Showtime, and I dare say one of my favorite shows to date, called Penny Dreadful. And I'm going to do what I did before. I play some clips while I'm talking about this. And if you guys like this format, let me know. Or if you want me to switch something different or just show the whole picture or whatever, I'll be in this corner here. So, Penny Dreadful was a show created by Showtime, and it has a lot of stars in it. So, the cast listing is we have Eva Green, we have Josh Hartnett, Timothy Dalton, just a bunch of really good veterans from this. I mean, I might go through the casting list as we see the characters, but you have Roy Keener, who plays a character that I'll get into later. You have a bunch of just really good actors in this show. So, what is Penny Dreadful about? Penny Dreadful is the show about these characters that are on a mission. They are looking. Timothy Dalton's character of the name Sir Malcolm is looking for his daughter Mina, who has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Eva Green plays a character known as Vanessa Ives. She is part of this search, and then Josh Hartnett joins the cast as a gunslinger with a dark past. So, this show, if you couldn't tell by the flashes that you see, is based on a very old, sort of serialized story called Penny Dreadful, which was a collective tales of like the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, all of that stuff, and they were kind of just condensed and remixed in this story. And the show is really good because the show is fleshing out this world. So I'm going to get into all of my positive and not very many negatives. I think I got one or two that I can touch upon, but this show was a show that immediately hooked me. And the first episode is called Night Work. I'm not going to go through plot points beat by beat. I'm going to give you a general outline, and I'm going to kind of introduce the characters. There'll be minor spoilers, but as I go into this, there will be more spoilers. And I don't know if I'm going to do this episode by episode. I was thinking about doing that, giving you guys a review every time I get done with an episode, that kind of a deal. And maybe I'll shoot all of these and see how it goes. But, anyways, episode 1 is really introducing the characters in the world. And I want to just talk about how well they do this world. The creator was John Logan, and his executive producer was Sam Mendes. And this show really captures atmosphere, as you guys can tell from the clips that I'm showing in the background, the Victorian England setting, the interactions, and there is some really strong acting, as well as a bunch of different cool things said by characters in sort of this old-timey, old English kind of way. There's a great line where we first meet Malcolm Reynolds, played by the amazing Timothy Dalton, and he says to Josh Hartnett's character, Ethan, that do not be amazed or frightened at the things that you witness here tonight. And it kind of sets the stage, like everything, all of the dialogue sets this stage, and really the interactions become much bigger and the world becomes much grander just based upon the way these people act out their lines and the way they kind of set you up. And it would appear as over the top, except for there is a fantastical nature and also a very fantasy nature blended together in this show that I've never seen. These opening shots, the establishing shots, you have the opener with a little girl and her mother. They're going through the house, the lights go out, the whole bit. But then you see this creature stalking them clearly, and it kills this mother and daughter, which really sets this town on thinking that it's Jack the Ripper, because this takes place somewhere in that timeline. And I'll get to the timeline because it's kind of muddled, but it really sets this grand stage. So you have characters introduced. Vanessa Ives, played by the amazing Eva Green. She's got these beautiful, gorgeous eyes that really captivate you and draw you into every word that she says. Meanwhile, Ethan Chandler, who's supposed to be this broken yet charismatic gunslinger who's doing these road shows, that gets recruited to do some night work, uh, just wonderfully played by the amazing Josh Hartnett, who really brings this dual personality to this character, where you could tell he is a broken man who has seen some shit. At the same time, he has these boyish good looks and this charisma that Josh Hartnett carries very well throughout this series. He is the he is the sort of not believe in, kind of off colored humor person. Like, he brings a little bit of levity. We later meet a character at the morgue who is revealed to be Victor Frankenstein. This character is amazingly portrayed by Harry Treadway. He does a great job of making this enigmatic, mad genius kind of man. You'll get the reveal at the end. Like I said, this isn't going to be full spoilers breaking down all the plots and the little bits, but when you get to the end, you'll see that he has brought somebody to life. And each of these characters, from Victor to Vanessa to Ethan to Malcolm, all have these layers to them and this complexity that should be there in the season to lure you in and want to know more about this world. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is off of this first episode. You feel like London has been lived in, but that we are exploring a deep, dark, seedy part of London, a world that is in our world, but not. We are getting an insight through the eyes of uh, Ethan, who's kind of this outsider gunslinger, just kind of thrust into this role. We are seeing this macabre, dark, dirty, dungy sort of underbelly to London that I think they get both the macabre and the beautiful very well. If I had any negatives, I think that even though this has a great hook, I think people will struggle. They'll be intrigued hopefully by the mystery, but this is a very slow burn show. And I'm not saying everything happens at the ending, but it's sort of a rising tension. I think this episode does a good job drawing in the people it's going to draw in. But I think when it came out, a lot of people were confused about exactly what this show is. But I think it's one of those shows, if you get to the ending and see the world that they're building and kind of what they want you to follow, it's very rewarding. I think the acting across the board is fantastic. There's not one bad performance in here. There is this character that I really like, who's a uh, sort of a curator of arts. His name is Ferdinand Lyle, played by Salmon Russell Beale. He is this enigmatic curator that they bring these hieroglyphics found in the chest of this creature to him. And every character is so interesting, is so compelling, is so fascinating. The world that is built and the way that they set you into this whole setting is fascinating. The dialogue and the conversations between these characters, there's so many things they say that you go, oh, I gotta remember that line. um there is just so much depth and nuance in the writing of this show. And I think if you haven't seen Penny Dreadful, you are truly missing out. This was one of my favorite shows, and I would contend this is probably one of the favorite horror show that I've ever seen. This puts Walking Dead to shame with its writing and its storytelling. This is the kind of thing that if you give it a chance and you really follow this story, I think you'll fall in love with it. So I'm giving the first episode of Penny Dreadful Night Work an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a good, solid setup. It's some good, solid action to let people know what the show is and what they're attempting to do. I think the acting is brilliant. I think all of the performances are great. Josh Hartnett and Eva Green have a magnetic attraction where you feel where the relationship is going, and I'll get into that when we get into seasons 2 and 3. But you feel this underlining respect yet tension that's between the two of them. This show is everything that I wish was in shows today. I really enjoy it. Check out Penny Dreadful. I give this an 8 out of 10. Episode 1, if you guys like this, let me know. I will release more of these. I think I'm going to do this episode by episode as I get done watching them to give you guys my initial thoughts and impressions, and then I'll do a season 1 overview and final review and talk about the good and the bad in the show. And then when I'm done with the series, seasons 1, 2, 3, I will do a ranking of my favorite episodes. I will do a breakdown of each season. I will do a ranking of the seasons. So thank you everybody for watching. Click that like, share, subscribe. And as always, remember there is only one rule here in the Phantom Zone. Do not go out late at night.